So, how do you really know if the folks you elect are keeping your promises? Well, here in Texas, there's this really powerful tool that basically pulls back the curtain on government. We're going to dive into what it is: the Texas Open Meetings Act. It all really boils down to a simple idea. In a democracy, we, the citizens, need a way to track what the people we elect are actually doing. It's all about accountability, right? Not just on election day, but every single day they're in office. And hey, this isn't just some abstract theory. You've got citizen groups and watchdogs out there who actually create these legislative scorecards. The whole point is to help voters know what's going on by tracking the important votes. It's basically a report card that shows you exactly how your legislator voted on different bills. Which, of course, leads to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? For any group to make a scorecard like this, they have to get their hands on the data. They need to know what was talked about, what was debated, and exactly how every single official voted. I mean, how do they get that information? Well, the answer is baked into a fundamental Texas law, one that's specifically designed to stop the government from doing its business in the shadows. And here it is, the Texas Open Meetings Act. This one law is pretty much the key that unlocks the doors to your city hall, your local school board meetings, and even the state legislature itself. At its heart, the act has a super simple rule: to make government decisions accessible to you, the public. To put it plainly, if officials are discussing public business, you have a right to be in the room while they do it. Okay, so why is this such a big deal? Why is this so important? The idea isn't new. Actually, it's pretty much woven into the fabric of American democracy. Let's take a look at the thinking behind it. Founding father James Madison just nailed this idea. He basically said that for people to govern themselves, they have to have information. If a government hides what it's doing, you're just setting yourself up for disaster, a farce, a tragedy, or both. This is the historical bedrock for laws like the Open Meetings Act. And you can really see what's at stake here. When decisions happen behind closed doors, it just eats away at public trust and can breed corruption. But when meetings are open, well, that builds accountability. It empowers citizens with actual knowledge, and it makes the whole process transparent. All right, so we get the why behind the law, but what about the how? How does this thing actually work in the real world? What are the basic rules that officials have to play by? Okay, first things first, the law has to define what a meeting even is, because it's not just any old chat. It's when a certain number of members, that's a quorum, get together to talk about or act on public business. And that word, quorum, is the key that starts the engine. A quorum is just the minimum number of members you need to have present to legally make a decision. So, for example, if your city council has 7 members and the quorum is 4, the second that 4th member joins a discussion about city business, boom, the Open Meetings Act kicks in. And this is a really, really important point. It's not just about the final vote. The act covers the deliberation, the actual discussion, the back and forth, the exchange of ideas that leads up to a decision. That whole process is supposed to happen out in the open. So when you put it all together, it's a pretty straightforward 4-step process. First, a public notice gets posted telling everyone the what, when, and where. Second, a quorum shows up. Third, they deliberate on public business. And fourth, the most important part for us, the public gets to be there and watch the whole thing unfold. And that's where it all comes back to you. This law isn't just a rulebook for politicians. It's a Bill of Rights for citizens who want to stay informed. So what can you actually do? Well, you have the right to show up and attend pretty much any meeting of a governmental body. You've got a right to know what's on the agenda before the meeting starts. You even have the right to record the meeting yourself with audio or video. And after it's all over, you have the right to get the official records, like the minutes. And this right here is the result. This is why it matters. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. Because of the Open Meetings Act, every discussion and every single vote can be made public. That's what allows citizens and watchdog groups to track these votes and to create those scorecards we saw earlier. It's how we hold them accountable. When you boil it all down, that's the #1 thing to remember. The Texas Open Meetings Act isn't some boring bureaucratic role. No, it's a powerful tool, and it was designed for you, the citizen. But that leaves us with one last, really big question. The law can prop the doors to government wide open, but it can't force anybody to walk through them. So who makes sure the public is actually paying attention?